Defense offside didn't work, and the ball is grounded, picked off by number 32 at the Seagull 49-yard line.
It's good field position.
Yeah.
And, you know, Boothbay, hey, one more score, and they're right back in it with a possible onside kick, you know. So the thing is definitely not over. We got plenty of time left. It's got to be somewhere around the 7-minute mark left of the fourth quarter. Just momentum-wise, you could see this thing just switch right at halftime.
Boy, indeed, and it's really been the story of the second half. This determined Seagull team that came out on the field for the second half. Norton calling signals. He's got Lorraine down here on this side. Tries to go over the middle again.
Ooh, we're going to get a flag.
And the flags fly.
Yeah. That'll be an interference call.
Yep.
Sometimes the timing just is a split second off, and I think that was the case there.
Intended receiver is Richard Brown on that play, number 10. He's the kid that's been pretty much shuffling plays in and out, and he's back in now. So give them the whole 15 on that play. Brings the ball back down to the Seagull 34.
That's what I'm saying. When you have an offense, if there were some teams in here that just ran the football mainly and didn't have a good passing game, I'd say this thing was definitely over. But with this offense, Rod, you just never know.
Exactly, and you know, one well-thrown pass, and Norton certainly can do that. They're back close. Now he goes wide and too wide.
C.T. Broderick that time, and also trying to pick up the other young man, nailed Norton as he threw the ball.
They sure did.
Bickford probably, once again. We may be getting Bickford, Raj, and Chris Hall or somebody, I think, after the game. Talking to Kurt, we're scheduled to have a couple young men come over again. As is normal. Okay, we just didn't know because of the setup that we had here whether we'd be able to do it from here. But we're assuming he may send a couple of the seniors over.
That was Bickford, by the way, the other guy in there with Broderick. There's no gain, and it's a 2nd and 10 on the incompletion. Again in a passing set, he throws and completes it to Lorraine, who is dropped. Gain on the play, but short of the first down. It'll be a 3rd down in about 4 or 5. See where they spot it. We'll give them 6 on the play. Call it 3rd and 4. And I think our spotter is saying, what, 6 minutes?
Yeah, and that's the first completion of the second half.
No kidding,
Boothbay.
Is that right?
That's what I have.
Wow.
First completion for 6 yards. He's somewhere around Oford, like 10 in this half. Mainly because I think the Lord just put a lot more pressure on him also.
Yeah. They're inside the 30. Let's call it about the 28, maybe 29-yard line, just so that you'll have a feel for it. Norton is really clobbered by Bickford again, and Jerry helps him up and pats him on the back.
Yeah.
And it's a 4th down and about 3 or 4. So again, of course, Boothbay, no choice now. They have to go for it, and they would anyway. They're well down in beach territory. So let's see what they opt to do here on a 4th down and short. So that's Josh Garrett, number 2, split wide at the top of your screen. They're working out of the I formation. They pass out of this as well. And we're going to get an offside called against the beach.
Yeah, that'll be a 1st down.
And that'll take care of that.
And I can see Norton tomorrow morning when he wakes up, he's gonna be telling his parents that all he dreamt about all night was Bickford picking him up and patting him on the shoulder.
That's right. So they get the 1st down without having to run the play. It's the best way to do it.
It's a great 4th and 4th call.
Yeah.
4th and under 5 call is that offside. 1st down, but we're under 6 minutes to go. 5 and some change, probably.
And we're inside the 25, I believe, around the 24-yard line. Norton now hands off to number 28, who slides forward for a couple of yards. Give him 3, make it 2nd and 7. Again, I can't give you the name of the boy, but he is number 28. He's now checking out of the lineup, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. Go away.
our phantom player of the day
Right.
is number 28.
Number 28.
5 minutes even to go now in
5
the fourth
minutes.
quarter. This has got to be the drive Boothbay scores if they're going to get back into this thing.
Absolutely, this is it. Norton looking to throw, throws to the flat, completes it to Lorraine, still on his feet, and driven out of bounds. Or is he? No, he's in for the touchdown, Andy.
Well, there you go. I said this had to be the drive right here. This team is not out of it with the passing game that they have, Raj.
I'm guessing about 24. And it is now 29 to 22. 7-point difference. They don't have to go for 2 here.
No, they don't.
But it appears that they will. It's 29-22, and they're setting up to go for the 2. Norton will throw to that corner again, and it is good for the 2-point conversion. Completed to Pottle, number 30, coming across in that corner. And with under 5 minutes left now in the fourth quarter, the score, Old Orchard Beach 29 and Boothbay 24.
Yeah, they're within 5 now, so a touchdown puts them ahead, so they don't have to worry about the points. So you know you got to be expecting maybe onside kick here. Or if Olochi gets the ball, 1 or 2 first downs is going to ice it for these guys.
Could very well. Then you get into that, take a timeout after every other play type of situation. But the last 4 minutes or so of this game, 4.5, whatever's left, are going to be very, very interesting. And the whole game hinges on what these two teams can develop here in the last 4.5 minutes or so.
Regardless of what happens, it's really been an entertaining game. It's been a game of emotional roller coasters, and you got credit to the other team because they haven't given up. They were down 29. The momentum was going totally against them, and they got back into this thing. And with the kind of offense that they have, Raj, you can never count something like this out because they do have the weapons to throw the ball out there.
Yeah,
they can get back in the game in a hurry.
Shows you the importance of a throwing quarterback with talent, and this is what these guys have got. Anything can happen. Now they kick away. It'll go close to the sidelines and roll out of bounds. It is out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. The touchdown was scored by, let me make sure, Steve Lorraine, number 15. And the 2-point conversion pass was completed to Pottle.
Yeah, my roster blew off the bus, I think, before the game even started.
Right.
So I've got to go by Rogers right now. And we're in different counties doing
We
this
are.
game.
Yes. I'm standing on the top, and
I'm somewhere between Portland and Augusta somewhere.
Andy's moved down to the next level of bus. The ball is brought back out to the 35-yard line after rolling out of bounds, and the Seagulls set up right there for their offensive drive. And this is a very big offensive drive now for both teams in this football game. Handoff, Gerard trying to find room on the inside. Nothing there, and he's dropped for probably no gain right back to the 35.
That's what we talk about momentum. Now the
Sure.
Boothbay team in defense knows that if they can come up with a big stop here, they've been able to throw the ball here now and then. They've really haven't had much success except for those last 2 or 3 attempts that they just made. But they're back into the football game.
They are indeed. 2nd and 10 for the Seagulls right at the 35-yard line. Out of the wishbone. Everybody in tight. Handoff, Gerard coming back. We'll get about 5, maybe 6 on that play that looked like it had nothing at all.
Well, second effort right there.
He developed.
I might have been even a third effort that time.
May have been. He developed 6 out of nothing, so let's make it a 3rd and 4 now. The ball is at the 41. Seagull 41.
And everything becomes a big third down play now from here on in. The longer they can keep the ball, they want to keep it out of Norton's hands is what they want to do right now. They'd like to control about a 3 or 4 minute drive right here.
You got to keep the offense, the Boothbay offense, off the field. And there's nothing there. That Gerard is found early and dropped on good defensive adjustment.
We got a beach player down, right?
Yeah. That's Jamie Gittinger down, number 75. And time is called on the field.
That guy, Gittinger?
Yes. Yep,
75.
one of the Gittinger brothers. This is 75, Jamie. So we've got timeout.
Yeah, this is 3:27 left in the football game. Or yeah, well, regulation time. We'll make it official. But Gettinger did, I think, receive a concussion in the Kennebunk game, I believe, right? The exhibition game, first game of the season. But this looks like it's a lower injury. They're looking at his leg, ankle area. And hopefully it won't be very serious because he's a very valuable asset to that line. Only, I think, a sophomore.
I'm not sure. I think you may be right. Jamie is yes, he is only a sophomore. That's right.
So the clock is going to be stopped at 3:27 left in the fourth quarter. And he gets up limping a little bit. There's been some nicks and bruises here, too, for the Beach this afternoon.
Yeah, he's favoring one leg there pretty well. It may be an ankle. And we'll see what happens as he comes down here to the bench. Anyway, we've got a fourth down, Andy.
Yeah, Boothbay gets the ball back, unless there's some kind of mistake, a fumble or a...
Jerry Hubbard will punt. Good snap. Gets it away. It is headed to the other side of the field. Takes a nice roll. Is going down to around the 30-yard line and dies right there. So there's no run back. And Boothbay goes back on offense.
3 minutes exactly.
3 minutes left.
And that's plenty of time for this offense, I'll tell you.
You said it. The ball is at the 30-yard line, so they've got 70 yards to negotiate in about, 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, I think, again, this has got to be the drive that they score and go ahead, because if they don't here, the Beach could run out the clock. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember too many timeouts this half by Boothbay, so they could have 2 or 3 timeouts remaining.
Now it's a situation where the quarterback is looking into the sun, but his receivers aren't, and there might be more of an advantage in that direction with the receivers not having to look at the sun. Norton rolls out, finds a receiver, but it's incomplete. A little low and a little behind his intended receiver.
He looked deep that time, downfield, right around midfield, but decides to go up top.
That was number 20, Jesse Drinkwater, who unable to come up with the ball. He checks out of the lineup along with a couple of other folks as Brown, number 10, comes back in with a play from the bench. As we said earlier, he's been shuffling in and out all day.
31 pass attempts so far for Norton, and he's not through yet. I'm sure we'll see at least 34 before this one's done.
Lorraine is split wide down here, so look for him. He cuts back over the middle. Intercepted by Billy Adams. Bye-bye.
Adams, I think he read that play perfectly. They saw that one coming. As soon as Lorraine made his cut in, Adams made his move and shot the gap, and that was all over right there. Well, you go to the well once too often with that play. That can work for short gains, but they can also lose the game for you.
And, man, he was waiting for that. Mark just said he was waiting for that one. You're absolutely right, kid. He was waiting for that. And our score is 35-24 on the beautiful interception and
I guess
touchdown.
we're going to give him around a, 25 or 30-yard interception.
It is indeed. In fact, where he picked it off, it's about 35 to be exact. And let's see if this Beach looks like they're going to go for the one. Once again, it's 35 now to 24. The kick is up. It is no good. So, with an 11-point advantage, the Seagulls have jumped further in front here of the Boothbay Seahawks. We're going to take one more break. We'll be back with the rest of this fourth quarter right after this message.
Main glass is
ready for the last 3 minutes or so, 2:48 exactly left in this football game, and it would we would assume that 11 points might be enough to make it, but you just never know.
Still not in high school football. We've seen so much of swing. We're not ready to rule this one over yet.
No way.
We've seen too many funny things in this game.
Yep.
Boy, talk about momentum changes in a football game. I've seen more today than...
Well, the run back will get them back to about their own 33, and that's where they'll go back on offense following the Jerry Hubbard kick.
Well, this be the every time Boothbay gets the ball here, they're going to have to come up with something big. But you know that play has been successful for about 5 or 6 passes And that time, as soon as Lorraine made his move, you could see that one coming.
Yep,
I mean, we could have called that one from up here, I think.
We interviewed Billy Adams last week, remember, and another bright young guy who seems to have it all going. Now we're going to go deep and too deep. Lorraine downfield. A couple of people down there with him. Adams once again. Todd Polk was also there. And we're going to look at a 2nd down and 10 on the incompletion.
The Beach has a 27-point second half go here. Remember, they only had 8 points up to the halftime, and they've scored 27. Have outscored the 27 to 8. They've outscored Boothbay in the second
27 to 8. That's right. Amazing. So a big. We were talking earlier amongst ourselves about Noble's 40-point second half last night against
with one of their
Massapequa.
top running backs injured.
You're right.
Halftime, they.
And the Beach have come up with 27 of their own here in the second half today. 2nd down. Norton throws and completes it to Pottle, I believe, number 30.
Yeah, they're willing to give up the short 5 or 6 yard
Oh,
plays,
absolutely.
They don't want to give up the home run ball here.
Sure. Gain is good for about 6, maybe even 5. Let's call it 3rd and 5. And they're out to about the 38-yard line.
And it's surprising, too, that, actually, if you look at Norton's passing, it's been mostly short distance passes. He's been, crisp with the short ones. They haven't gone that long.
Norton is hit, intercepted by
Here we go again.
Jerry Bickford, picked
That's
right out of his
Bickford.
hands. Touchdown.
Well,
C.T. Broderick clobbered Norton.
Yeah.
Norton just threw it into Bickford's hands, and you've got 6 more points.
well, give me a yardage on that one now.
From the line of scrimmage, Andy, it was 38 yards.
It comes at 1:52 left in the, you can say now, the football game. I'll tell you, you live by the pass and you die by the pass, Live by the sword, die by the sword. And when you got people draped all over you, people who weigh over 200 pounds, something's going to happen.
Absolutely. It is now 41 to 24. And Old Orchard Beach going for the 1-point conversion. 41 to 24. Kick is up and no good. Short and wide and low and everything you can imagine. So we're down to 1 minute and 52 seconds left here in this football game from Boothbay, and the Seagulls starting to add it up now. 41 to 24.
And guys, you can stop scoring. I've just run out of room on my page for the scoring summary. So if you just want to hold it here with a minute something left, we can just do the wrap-up and get out of this thing. But I'll tell you, if you read this score in the paper tomorrow, it's not going to indicate too much of how close this thing could have been late in the 4th quarter.
Well, just a couple minutes ago it was a 5-point game.
29-24,
right?
talk about a, 2-minute swing maybe?
Yeah.
From 4:33 to 1:52, they've basically...
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes, they've gone and blown this thing wide open.
And I think we said about at that point with the 4 and a half minutes left, we said the next 4.5 minutes are going to determine,
Exactly. It didn't even take that long.
No, it didn't.
Well, we talk about the Beach's offense, but their defense has played really well.
Jerry gets a nice kick. Still being bobbled down there, hitting. The boy gets away, now he's dropped.
A little extracurricular. We caught that one.
Flags fall again.
Yeah. Well, you can run, but you can't hide.
And we've got another injured Seagull, I'm afraid to say.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
It's Scott Darling holding the back of his head, but he's up and walking off. Trainers are out there looking at him now. Flags fell. There's going to be some kind of a call. It's probably going against Boothbay from the way it looks. Scott is coming off, and he's played a great game here this afternoon, or a great game.
Raj?
Yes.
The Beach had, in the first half, real quickly, the Beach had 80 yards of rushing. They have 230 in all now. So
wow.
150 this half, and good hard running by Dubois and Gerard. I think that really keyed them here in the second half. And I'll get to the other stats
Sure.
in a little bit.
Those tough seniors came through, didn't they, when they needed to?
They sure did. It's called senior leadership.
Yep. Well, they're walking off this unnecessary whatever penalty.
125, we believe, is what's left in the football game.
Yep. On our Village Inn clock watchers.
No way. Village behind the trees.
The Village Inn is out there behind the trees. Clock watchers, anyway, decided that is 125.
The Boothbay Seahawks have 4 yards of rushing this quarter, this whole half.
And
I
they're
think they only
back
had
off
32.
to their 14-yard line as they try to get something in less than a minute or a minute and a half or so. And that first play will pick up about 5 or so. So we probably pretty much wrapped this one up. In fact, we have wrapped this one up. Ball is out to the 20-yard line. It'll looking at a 2nd and 4. Ball carrier on that last play was Pottle, by the way, number 30.
And we can sit here and do the wrap-up after if you want, right?
Yeah, we'll do it right after the game. We won't take a break. We'll wrap it up as Andy's got all the stats going anyway. And they drive forward for the first down. The Beach happy to give them that as the ball comes out to the 26.
You know, there's been 4 interceptions he's thrown out of the 34 passes that I have, and the last 2 are the costliest right there.
Yeah.
Two for touchdowns, one for Bickford and the other one for, actually
Bill
the
Adams.
last one was for Bickford, and then the previous one was for Bill Adams. So those
Yep.
are the 2 real costly ones right there.
First down. He will throw a little longer than usual, and it is incomplete.
Almost picked off
yeah.
again.
Don Dubois almost had it.
35 seconds left, and the clock stops right there, and that's the 35th pass completion, attempt, excuse me, bring up still a 1st and 10. I guess they want to go for one more home run ball. Why not?
Why not?
So the Beach 41, if you just joined us, and the Boothbay Seahawks 24. Who would have told after the first quarter, it was scoreless first quarter,
Yep.
that these teams were going to put together 65 points in 3 quarters?
That's right.
But it just shows you that with the Beach's potent offense and this team throwing the football, doesn't take much to set off dynamite.
You know, that could be the last play if they just let this clock run out, and they appear to want to do that. We're down to 25
seconds
and counting.
So they might even snap it once more. I don't know. They're all standing in the huddle now, so.
It doesn't appear.
Yeah, they don't want to get anybody injured for next week neither. They've got other football games to play here.
Sure.
They're going to have nothing gained here by snapping again. Although we'll see if they get it off. 5 seconds left. Oh,
Well,
wow.
they
We're
got
going to
it
get one
away.
more play off.
And they're going to throw deep,
It's going to be
and
intercepted,
it's going
by the
to
way.
go incomplete.
Almost.
And that is that final play of the game here from Boothbay. And our final score from Boothbay, the Seagulls 41 and Boothbay 24. It was a wonderful game to do, a lot of fun. We saw just about everything you could imagine. We really want to thank our spotters down there,
Yeah, we
our
do.
timers. They were great.
People want to actually tape us here, trying to
That's
get
right.
down from the bus.
Yeah,
That's when you know we're.
No way we're going to allow
Rod, you
that.
want to do the wrap up now?
Sure, do it,
While they're
kid.
shaking hands out there.
You got it.
Well, Orchard Beach, I'm not going to individualize the yards. We got to get moving along. We're on top of a bus here. So 230 yards rushing, 3 for 12, and that to me works out to be 25% passing. 1 interception, 2 of those passes to Gerard for 100 yards himself. 334 total yards of offense for Orchard Beach. For Boothbay, I had him at 46 yards running. There were 12 for 36, which is 33% passing in the air. 4 interceptions there for 92 yards passing. So 138 yards for Boothbay, 334 for the Beach. If you remember, at halftime, it was the game was 16-8. third quarter, one score. It was Gerard run, 3:54 left, 2-point Gerard run. Tied it. After 3 quarters, this score was 16-16. Just to show you the fourth quarter was wild. 11:33, a 5-yard Gerard run, a point after no good. 22-16 the Beach. They never fell behind after that. 18-yard Gerard run, kick was good. 29-16 with 9:44 left in the game. Boothbay didn't quit. They came back. 24-yard pass. Norton to Lorraine. The 2-point pass to Potter was good. 4:33 left in the game. With 4 minutes and a half, this game was 29-24 with Boothbay still in it. Then the 2 more interceptions were the key ones right there. Adams, a 35-yarder, as he stepped in front of Lorraine, intercepted at 2:48 left. The kick was no good, 35-24. And then Bickford, again, after C.T. Broderick was hammering the quarterback, 38-yard interception. Kick again was no good with 1:52 left in the game, so 41-24 was the score here from Boothbay.
And we had a great time this afternoon, even though we were standing on top of a bus. Mark had to try to do this thing looking through the branches of trees. We had bikers run back of us, and we expected a moose to show up any minute. It was really amazing stuff. Anyway, I really want to thank Mark Pickard for doing what he did. How he did it, I don't know, but he did it, and we got through it. All this was done on battery power today. We had no power, so, you know, if it was less than the quality that you normally see, please understand that Mark did the very best he could with what he had going. So thanks again, Mark. And thank you, Andy. And this will do it for this afternoon. So until next week when we are in Winthrop, right? Andy tells me we may be getting a couple of kids to interview. It's a possibility. I don't know where we're going to do it if they do show up. I can't get them on top of the bus. Really? Well, let's do this. We're going to wrap it up, and if for some reason we do have the 2 young gentlemen join us, then we'll make apologies for having wrapped up early. But for now, let's call it a day. And until next week in Winthrop, this is Roger Payne Show. Again, thanking Andy and thanking Mark, and hoping you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week.
Okay, we're back, and we want to apologize about a couple things. We did a wrap, and we weren't sure if we're going to get anybody because of the conditions here, you know, what we had to go through to get here and getting these guys over here and getting off a bus. And Mark did a great job getting the equipment together. So, of course, we have the pleasure of talking to a couple key guys in the game, Jim Bickford to my left, and to his left, Chris Hall. First of all, guys, this was really an emotional coaster ride, I think, this game. This is really, we commented 4:33 left in the game, I think it was. This was a 5-point game. Your thoughts on it?
You're right. At one point it was really close, but we had a great defensive effort, and all the senior leaders stepped up. Billy Adams, he just picked one out of nowhere and ran it back, and then maybe a few plays later, I picked one off and just ran it in. It was overall a great effort by the defense.
Chris, at halftime, 16-8, you guys are down, okay? Without getting explicit, what was said at halftime? Can we talk about that, or did you guys stick with the game plan mainly?
Coach came into the locker room, and we're all just sitting around kind of arguing back and forth about what was going on in the game. He comes in and goes, we're just going to change it up a little bit. We're going to give a little different blocking schemes, and we're just going to shove it right back at him. Run it up the holes. We're going to run it to the left, the right, and that's what we did. We came out, and we scored a touchdown right off the bat, and defense took over after that, and that was the game right there.
Well, we thought Roger and I are 2 top coaches in the league. That's from up on that bus. I mean, we thought maybe if you stayed with the game plan, we thought you were a much better team than they were, and the cream was going to rise to the top eventually. But defensively, you guys, I mean, I mentioned Norton threw 36 passes today, and the last 2 interceptions, he threw 4 interceptions. The last 2 were the big ones because they were only down by 4 up to the first interception, Bill Adams, and then I think yours just about iced it.
I'm not really sure. I didn't get to see it. All I knew was the next minute the ball was in my hands after C.T. Broderick hit him, and then I just took off trying to watch the shadow. Hopefully I was going to beat him and score a touchdown. It was the first one ever, and it felt great.
Now, your thoughts about this big win. I mean, you get these guys back for last year now at their homecoming field, and it's got to be a good feeling for you.
Oh, it is a good feeling because last year, you know, we kind of came down to a situation on 4th down, and we messed up on a play, and we got stuff in our homecoming, and it felt good to come back up here and get revenge.
It seemed to be, and I don't want to, of course, you know, we're not officials. We don't try to be officials, but it seemed like there was a call in the first half that I've never seen this before. There was a pass interference Well, there was a pass interference on Dubois, I think, here, too, where they intercepted the ball. Then eventually they got the 16-point. There was another penalty on Todd Polk after, but the first flag was for a pass interference on Dubois. We saw the flag go down. There seemed to be a lot of penalties in the first half. There seemed to be a lot of things going on at the field.
There was definitely a lot of strange calls. It took a while for us to get going. I mean, in the beginning of the week, we were kind of shaky, goofing around, but today, the second half, we realized we had to get serious, and we came out. The line started to take charge. Dave Gerard, Todd Polk, Ralph Dubois, Donnie Dubois, they came together, and they brought us and led us to a victory.
And the field, you mentioned you slipped, and I know it seemed to be some of the players slipped and fell. The field's in rotten shape.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
you get shown in Boothbay, is it?
You get down in your stance, and you try to come up, and you just slip. You couldn't really get a good grip on the hole. You slipping around, and some of our players get injured because they fell down, or they couldn't move and they got hit. And it is a bad field. I mean, under the conditions, I think we played well, and we'll just have to ice and get better for next week.
Well, that's what we were commenting on. I think at the beginning of the game, we were just hoping, knowing what the field was, we were just hoping anybody comes out here with no injuries and you get healthy. Now you go to Winthrop next week.
Yes.
I know that's always kind of a tough place to play football. You guys have had some interesting games up there. We've had some interesting games doing games from up there. We're not looking forward again to going up there. It's our second worst place after this to do a game. Any thoughts on the Winthrop? Now that you've done this one?
Oh, I'm kind of looking forward to Winthrop. I mean, I owe a few kids from last year, and I'm pretty sure that we'll come out ready to play this week, knowing that, I mean, the first half of this game was the first time we've ever been scored on in the first half, and now we're looking for a little revenge and getting a little more hungry as playoffs start to come around.
And as being 4-1 now, every time you go into a game, whether a team is 1-4 or 2-5, everybody's looking to come after you guys.
We're just going to have to go into each game, play like we know we can play, be tough, and just run it at them, pass it, do whatever we possibly can to score, and just win. We just do everything that's possible to take the win. Defense is going to be up. Offense is going to be up. We're going to play 100%, and that's what we got to do.
All right. Well, God willing, we'll be in Winthrop covering the game. Depends on everything that goes on again. Hopefully we'll run into a situation like this next week. So we'll wish you guys the best of luck. And I want to remind you, maybe you can stay with me. We can all wrap it up together. My name's Andy Poirier, along with Mark Pickard and Roger Painter. We want to remind you once again, and for the last time, we'll say it today, from Boothbay region, the final score here was the Orchard Beach Seagulls. These guys, the good guys in the white, 41, and the black guys, the bad guys in the blue, 24. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good game.